Okay, stop everything. Forget the usual headlines for a second. The real story from Selena Gomez's wedding. It was hidden on that final dress. You know, the sheer one.
Yeah, the showstopper. What about it?
Near her thigh, almost invisible, was this tiny custom embroidery. Their initials, S+B, and the date.
Wow. Okay, that's intimate.
Right. That little detail, it basically turned this huge, multi-million-dollar fashion moment into something deeply personal, like a secret vow stitched right in.
So the whole wedding wasn't just spectacle.
It was both. A total masterclass in mixing that huge public display with, well, curated intimacy. And we're diving into all of it. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they break down Hollywood drama, music and industry shakeups, and influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to viral TikTok controversies, we dive into the stories behind the headlines.
And today, yeah, we are going deep on the wedding of, well, maybe the decade. September 27, 2025. Selena Gomez, 33, and music producer Benny Blanco, 37, down in Santa Barbara.
It really captured everyone's attention.
Totally. But we're focusing on the fashion narrative. The bridal triptych, as some are calling it. Why 3 dresses? Was it just indulgence or something more deliberate?
Oh, it was deliberate, definitely.
Yeah.
Storytelling through silk, you could say.
And that choice of designer, Ralph Lauren for everything. We need to talk about that.
Absolutely. We're going to untack the meaning behind that exclusive partnership and get into the details of that high fashion secret value mentioned.
Because the fashion, it wasn't just clothes, was it?
Not at all. It felt like the blueprint for their whole relationship narrative projected for the world to see.
Okay, let's start big picture then. Ralph Lauren. I mean, Selena Gomez. She could have anyone, right?
Literally anyone.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton, Prada, Oscar de la Renta, you name it.
And yet she goes all in. Exclusively. 3 gowns for her, the tux for Benny Blanco, all Ralph Lauren. What does that signal to you? Total brand loyalty like that.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? When you connect it to the brand itself. Ralph Lauren. It screams American elegance, doesn't it? Enduring style. That sort of aspirational American dream thing.
Classic. Stable.
Exactly. So when a huge public figure aligns so completely with a brand that stands for permanence, for tradition,
Yeah.
you're making a statement, a nonverbal one, about the union itself.
Especially committing all the key looks. It's not just one dress.
Right. It feels like a deliberate move away from, say, fast fashion or maybe some really out there fleeting trend. It signals stability.
Which makes sense given her history, maybe. The public scrutiny.
I think so. For someone who's grown up in the spotlight, whose past relationships were, let's be honest, often painted as dramatic, choosing this brand, it suggests a real desire for something lasting, a safe harbor, maybe.
Like choosing heritage. And didn't Taylor Swift wear Ralph Lauren recently, too? For her engagement.
She did, yeah. Another close friend choosing that same sort of established classic American aesthetic. It points towards a preference for the tried and true.
Okay, but let me push back a little. If the goal is authenticity, intimacy, doesn't partnering so heavily with a massive global brand like Ralph Lauren feel a bit corporate? Doesn't that dilute the personal feel?
That's a great point. And that's where the strategy, I think, is kind of brilliant. The fashion was communicating intent, but it was strategic intent.
How so?
Well, Gomez herself has talked about her relationship with Blanco being safe, respectful, grounding.
Right. I remember reading that. A contrast to the past.
Exactly. So by wrapping the entire wedding aesthetic in Ralph Lauren, they created this visual shield almost. They chose reliability, stability, the brand's image over maybe the quick flash of a niche, edgier designer.
So the message is, this is serious, this is built to last.
Precisely. The clothes become the visual manifesto for the marriage. It backs up the public story that, this relationship is different, it's solid.
Okay, that clicks. The close of the narrative. So let's walk through the day. The 3 acts, Act 1, the vow, the ceremony gown. This was all about timeless grace, right? Sincerity.
Yeah, this dress really set the tone, the reverence for the day. It was custom, ivory, halter-neck, classic A-line shape, but with this dramatic train.
And the fabric looked incredible in the photos.
Double-faced silk satin, luxurious stuff.
Wow.
And the weight, the drape of that kind of fabric, it just tells you this dress was made for iconic photos, for lasting images. It suggests importance. Gravity.
The details looked amazing, too. Those hand-draped panels.
Yeah.
And the collar, that lace and macrame described like flower petals. So intricate. Felt very old Hollywood.
Totally old Hollywood glamour. But, and this is key, I think, they couldn't just do nostalgia. It had to feel like her. Modern Selena. So the detail that did that, the back. It was described as daringly open.
Ah, okay. So structure and modesty from the front.
Exactly. And then boom, unexpected skin, strength from the back. It kind of acknowledges the vulnerability of marriage maybe, but also shows off her confidence. It's a dress that says, you know, I respect tradition, but I'm doing this my way.
Nice. Then came Act Two, the celebration. And the mood totally shifted from solemnity to just pure joy, it seemed.
Oh, yeah. Total pivot. This was a reception gown designed for release, for fun. The Marilyn-style midi dress, they call it.
Off the shoulder, T-length. That full circle skirt looked like it was made for dancing.
It absolutely was. It screamed movement. It was basically the anti-train dress.
And you mentioned it was engineered for comfort. That seems important for a reception.
Crucial, and the materials tell you that. Hand-pleated bodice, but made with airy cotton, silk, linen voiles, light stuff. They made sure the fabric itself wouldn't hold her back.
Right.
And here's the detail that for me sells the whole genuine happiness narrative.
What's that?
She was photographed dancing with Benny Blanco barefoot in this dress.
Oh, I saw that picture, yeah.
When you see that image, you get it. She literally shed the formality, kicked off the heels. She was just grounded in the moment. The dress was designed to let her do that.
It's like the visual permission slip to just enjoy your own wedding.
Exactly. Suggesting that, yeah, despite the scale, the camera's joy was actually real.
Okay, so then the grand finale. Act 3, the declaration. This felt like the one designed for the cameras for the fashion world. The real showstopper.
This was definitely designed for maximum impact, maximum visibility, form-fitting, sheer silk lace. This dramatic fishtail train, very high fashion.
And that bodice, hand-painted. Boudoir-style corset. Very intricate.
Super intricate. And the embellishments, the reports said 300 hand-shaped lace flowers, plus crystal details. I mean, this gown was clearly meant for the global fashion stage. This is the cover shot dress.
For sure. This is the one everyone talks about.
Exactly right. And that's the interesting thing about modern celebrity weddings, isn't it? They have to be this huge public performance, but they also need to feel sacred and personal to the couple. And this dress, arguably the most public-facing, the most dramatic one, that's where they hit their most private message.
The secret vow, that embroidery.
It's that little custom embroidery, tucked away near the thigh. Just a small heart, S+B, the date. 9.27.25.
Right.
That's the ultimate personalization, isn't it?
It really is. Taking this piece of high couture, probably costing a fortune.
More than most houses, yeah. And turning it into something completely personal, irreplaceable, an artifact just for them.
So the public sees the lace, the train, the drama. But what's the meaning of hiding that stitch? Why not put it somewhere visible?
Well, I think it means the gown had to work on two levels, right? It had to deliver the fantasy, the opulence for the public, for the, 400 million Instagram followers. Great pictures.
Okay.
But by putting that secret vow inside the dress, almost shielded from view, they kept a core of intimacy just for themselves. It's like a private promise, the anchor of the whole thing, literally stitched into the most public piece of clothing they wore all day. Hashtag, tag, the art of the ensemble and the digital legacy.
Wow. Okay, so beyond the three dresses, pulling off this whole three-act story, needed some consistency, right? What tied it all together when you look at the whole day?
Yeah, good point. The styling was key. It stopped it feeling like just random costume changes.
Yeah.
Gomez kept the same hairstyle across all three looks, that sophisticated kind of vintagey flipped bob.
Right, I noticed that. It worked with everything.
Exactly. It framed her face, looked chic, but didn't compete with the dresses. Let the craftsmanship shine. Provided that thread of sophistication throughout.
And the jewelry seemed quite simple.
Refreshingly understated, yeah. Minimal Tiffany & Co. Diamond drop earrings. Just letting the Ralph Lauren work speak for itself. You don't want huge diamonds fighting with, 300 handmade flowers.
Good point.
And even the bouquet had meaning. A small bunch of lily of the valley.
What does that symbolize?
Traditionally, the return of happiness, purity, sweetness. It's a classic choice, very traditional, which kind of grounded all the high fashion stuff in this really sweet, enduring sentiment. It felt like every single detail was thought through. Nothing accidental.
We should definitely mention the groom, too. Benny Blanco's look. It fit perfectly, didn't it?
It did. Classic Ralph Lauren tux, but with a little retro touch. That ruffled shirt and bow tie complemented her perfectly.
But his accessories, that's where the modern luxury came in, right?
Oh, yeah. If we're talking spectacle, you have to mention his wrist. Custom Jacob & Co. Watch. This oversized tennis bracelet. Reports estimated that jewelry alone was worth something like $1.3 million.
Whoa. Okay. So that definitely balances out the three-dress budget.
Absolutely. It makes sure the narrative includes opulence and success from both sides. And when you think about that price tag, $1.3 million on accessories, it puts that whole stable Ralph Lauren choice into perspective, doesn't it? They're projecting stability, sure, but they are not shying away from luxury.
No kidding. Okay, and lastly, the media rollout. This felt like a masterclass in controlling the story, especially for someone like Gomez, most followed woman on Instagram. 417 million followers is insane.
It really is, and she used that power brilliantly.
Yeah.
Key move. She basically bypassed the paparazzi scrum waiting outside.
Oh!
By releasing her own photos first.
Yeah.
A curated set of these really intimate professional shots by Petra Collins, the photographer, shared straight to her Instagram.
So she framed the narrative from the get-go, chose the images, the moments, the details the public saw, not the tabloids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Total control. And the interesting thing is, despite the A-list guest list, Taylor Swift, Paul Rudd, Ed Sheeran were there, and the sheer expense of it all.
Yeah.
The overall vibe people got was authentic, joyful, even, surprisingly, kind of normal.
How do you make that wedding feel normal?
That's the genius. It's the highest level of modern celebrity PR. They focused the narrative on those candid-looking moments, him resting his head in her lap, the barefoot dancing we talked about. Those images projected genuine intimacy, and that resonated more than just pure spectacle.
So she set the benchmark for how to do this, control the story.
Pretty much. Making sure what you, the listeners, see is exactly what they wanted you to see. It's a new level of narrative management.
So wrapping up, what's the lasting impact here for weddings to come?
Well, this whole bridal wardrobe idea, the multi-act approach, that's probably going to become way more popular, turning the fashion into a story with chapters reflecting the day's mood. And specifically, that ceremony gown was so elegant, so visible. Expect to see a lot more halter-necks coming back into style. Big-time resurgence predicted. This whole thing was definitely a cultural moment, a sartorial touchstone. #tag final provocative thought. Okay, so if we accept that the modern celebrity wedding is essentially a highly controlled media performance, one designed mostly to project authenticity outwards to the public, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Does that secret hidden detail, that little S+B embroidery, does that become the most authentic part of the whole thing?
Because it wasn't for the cameras.
Exactly. It was purely for them. Does the truest moment lie in the part that wasn't for public consumption? Something for you to think about.
That's a fascinating question. Definitely something to mull over next time we see those glossy wedding spreads. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.